Hello, all. So, you are preparing for the CAT exam. That's great. And it is a very exciting journey that you have set out on of pursuing an MBA program. Well, right now, you might think that the CAT exam is the only thing that is on the top of your mind. But around 3 weeks from now, you will be looking at other options. So, this is why we have brought up this particular discussion as to what you can do once you are done with the CAT exam and what can be another line of thought that you can pursue to pursue an MBA program in the short term or in the long term. The CAT exam is your whole world right now. We understand that, but trust me, it is just the beginning of your journey. I'm Shruti and I'm an admissions consultant with CoLSB, and we are here today to discuss about the options that you have post your CAT exam as to how you can navigate your path towards an MBA and what other options do you have with your CAT score, but other programs you can apply to. So let's get started with the discussion for today. So while you are preparing for the CAT, I understand that there's no point of researching multiple programs right now. That's why we have done this research for you and brought up this particular presentation, which you can refer back to once you are done with your CAT exam. Or if you're looking for alternative plans in terms of what other things you can do once you have written the CAT exam to pursue an MBA. In terms of program research, there is, of course, the ISP PGP VIL that you can apply to. A lot of people must have been aspiring for the ISP YLP or the ISB early entry option till a few years back. Now, this year, you have the option of applying to the ISP PGP Young Leaders Program. And yes, ISP will now accept your CAT scores as well. So, you technically don't have to write any other exam unless you would really have plans to apply to more programs other than these. Plus, your CAT score will also be valid for a lot more number of programs, which we'll be sharing over here. And alongside that, we'll also share with you a strategic plan as to how you can focus on the other exams, build on top of your preparation that you have already put in for the CAT exam, and then look at other options for pursuing your master's or your MBA degrees. So let's first go to the ISB PGP WILE program. This is an early career leadership program, a 2 year program which has been offered by ISB. So you must have 2 years of work experience to apply to the ISB PGP WILE program. And the first round deadline closes on 15th of December 2024. But if you are writing the CAT exam, you can still apply for the ISB PGP WILE for round one, though your results for CAT will not be available till then. However, the application process is still viable. The ISB PGP YL program also accepts the GMAT scores and the GRE scores. So this is the research that you can put in once you have written your CAT exam. Just get down with your application process for ISB PGP YL for the stage one or for the round one or the round two application cycle. Now, going forward, where else is your CAT score acceptable? Is your CAT score acceptable for any international programs? Yes, it is. There are up to 5 programs that you can apply to by submitting your CAT scores itself. One is the ESCP Masters in Management, the ESSEC Masters in Management, the EdHEC Masters in Management, Leon Business School Masters in Management, and the Schema Business School Masters in Management programs. So once you have your CAT scores and if you have some plans of applying to an international masters, then you can also submit your CAT scores for application process for these masters in management programs. Next is, what other exams can you apply for? So you know that you can write either the GMAT exam or the GRE exam. While you have just written the CAT exam, it is a very good idea to build on top of that preparation, to align your preparation for from the CAT exam and decide whether you want to write the GMAT or the GRE exam. So you can parallelly, process the GMAT or the GRE exam. The moment you are done with CAT, plan for one more month. You will be writing other exams like the ZAT, etc. But do plan your GMAT or GRE preparation alongside so that by January or January mid or January end, you'll also be done with the GMAT or the GRE exam. This will also open up a lot of international global avenues for you for applying to the master's or the MBA programs. Now, here's a plan of how you can build on top of your CAT preparation to transition towards a GMAT roadmap. So, the first thing that you do once you have written the CAT exam, and if you are thinking of whether to write the GMAT or the GRE, is just go and write a diagnostic test for the GMAT as well as the GRE. To decide what test is the best suited for you is the test where you can score the highest. So if you are someone who will perform better at GMAT, then the diagnostic test will help you decide that, and similarly for the GRE exam as well. So the first thing that you do is just go write a mock test, write an official mock test from the official websites on the GMAT or the GRE, for the GMAT or the GRE, and preferably for both, so that you can decide which test you are more comfortable with, which one do you want to prepare for, and which one is the test where you can score the highest. So let's say you have decided on the GMAT exam. So the first thing that we are doing over here is we are writing the GMAT diagnostic test or the mock test to decide and see where you stand on in terms of your quantitative, your verbal, and your DILR skills. So based on that particular test, you will be able to see the weak areas and the concepts where you need to brush up. So spend some days to identify these areas. Also, at the same time, just go through the GMAT course material. You can go through the official course material and see how the test questions are different from what you are preparing for on the CAT. The concept remains the same most likely, and the things that will be different will be the way the question is asked and the type of options that you are getting. So get down to that practice. Spend around 2 weeks to get to practicing the GMAT format of the questions, and alongside keep on brushing up the concepts. Writing mock tests regularly is a very good idea when you have to build on top of your preparation. So when you have to prepare for the GMAT test, because that will help you align your preparation. You keep on reviewing your results from your mock test. That will help you align your preparation towards the final end exam. Now, coming towards the end of your preparation, let's say you've been 2 weeks into this process. By the third week, you can start writing mock tests almost alternate day, and then also practice the advanced strategies. There are a lot of resources available online where you can go and study some advanced problems so that you can optimize on your GMAT score. It is also very important to note as to how to attempt the adaptive test, the the adaptive GMAT test, and alongside that, also manage the stress or the test taking strategies that you would have as an individual. So, this is the way that you can spend another 1 month after your CAT exam to prepare for your GMAT or the GRE exam. Now, for the GRE test, you can go to the ETS website, write a mock test, find out your strengths and weaknesses with the test pattern that GRE has. Finally, the basics will remain the same. You've done the same arithmetic, algebra, as well as reading comprehension. The style of questions will change, the level of questions will change. Try and adapt to that by taking more and more practice tests as well as mock tests, which will help you prepare for the NT. So, 1 month down the line or 4 weeks down the line, you will be ready to write the GMAT or the GRE exam and get a substantial score, because whenever people are preparing for the CAT exam, they are actually preparing for a long, long time. You actually prepare for anywhere from 11 months to 2 years to write the CAT exam. So that preparation is more than enough. You just need to adapt yourself to the test style, and most likely you'll be able to score well on the GMAT or the GRE. Now, what else can you do with the GMAT or the GRE score? Why do you really need to get into writing that test at all? So, why so? Because of so if you have a GMAT or a GRE score as a fresher, you can apply to the specialized master's programs. Now, these master's programs could be a master's in finance, a master's in business analytics, it could be a master's in supply chain management, master's in management, or a master's in marketing. So these are the five primary fields which you can choose from. There are a lot of interesting uh, and contemporary options available for pursuing specialized masters. Now, what you need to take care of over here is that the career journey after a master's program will be different from that what you will have after an MBA program. And especially when you're looking at a master's program abroad versus an MBA in India. So, an MBA in India versus the master's program abroad, things will be typically different in terms of your career goals, whether you are looking at a specialization at all or not, and whether you are looking at a global exposure or not. If you're comfortable, staying in India and you want to remain in India in the long term, then probably an international masters will not help you that much. But if you are looking at a long term global career, or even in the short term, if you want to spend some time in a global environment and then come back to India, then also a master's program will give you an edge to build a strong career base for a global positioning. So this is what you should also keep in mind while you are choosing the masters. Try and see, what subject really interests you a lot, which is the field where you want to build your career in the long term or specialize in the long term. Because finally, after the masters, even if you do an MBA, the specialization that you had in your masters will definitely you know uh, remain important. So if it is finance where you want to build your career, you have an option of pursuing a masters in finance and then specializing in that field, or maybe supply chain management or marketing for that matter. So choose your field very selectively, and introspect well, see what job roles are being offered, so that you are able to decide which master's program you want to apply to. Now, the program selection factors as to how you can select your master's program can be on the basis of your career goals, whether it is short term in India and long term also in India, or if you're pursuing a master's or an education abroad and you want to work abroad and get the international exposure for some time and then come back to India, or if you want to settle abroad or have a global career, then an international master's will definitely make sense. Again, geographic preferences. There are a lot of programs, especially the master's programs, which are being offered in Europe and in the US. Even Canada offers master's programs. So you need to see which geography really clicks with you and where is it that you want to study and work in the future. Similarly, the ROI. So the ROI of an international program will really be justified if you are looking at an international career for some time. If that is the case, then definitely the potential career benefits are then definitely there are potential career benefits for you if you choose a master's program. What is the investment like when you're planning to study abroad? The cost components are not only the tuition fee. When you are estimating the cost that you might have to spend for your masters, do also factor in the living expenses as well as the additional costs of the program, let's say a field immersion trip or networking trips that you might have to put in. So when you're calculating the cost, look at the complete cost structure and then take a decision. The investment is also This investment will also open doors for you towards a global career opportunity. So, in case you are going to pursue a career abroad, it should probably not be in line with just coming back to India right after that. You should try and factor in at least 5 to 7 years of work experience in that same location, so that you get the real global professional network as well. Plus, of course, when you're working internationally, then you are going to work in a new culture. You have to be ready for the for facing those challenges, and also build. And also in the process, you will definitely enhance your intercultural communication skills. Let's look at some of the Now, let's discuss the master's programs and know what they are all about. The masters in finance programs, there are quite a few masters in finance programs which are available now. A few that you can target would be the LBS or the HEC Paris programs. And the requirements for these programs are usually the GMAT or the GRE score, along with a very strong quantitative background. And if you have an interest in finance, then your relevant internships that you have pursued will also be very important for your candidature for these programs. And the career outcomes that you can expect could be anywhere from financial services to investment banking, private equity, and asset management. So, this is what you should look at. Go deeper into what the Masters in Finance program curriculum is like, what specializations they are offering, what are the kind of electives like, and what is the geographical location where you are choosing to pursue that program, so that you are able to optimize your career goals, optimize the program choice according to your career goals. Next comes the business analytics part. So, if you're someone who is very interested in business analytics, there are specialized masters that you can pursue in that particular field. The requirements would be that yes, you should know some programming languages, these will be important. Strong statistical background is going to be important for the business analytics masters. And then, of course, your GMAT or your GRE scores will definitely be an important input towards your strong applications. The career paths that you can assume to assume to pursue after the business analytics path would be anywhere from being a data scientist to a business analyst to an analytics consultant. So these career paths are the contemporary career paths that you can look at, and definitely it's a good option to go for. The fourth, the third option is the supply chain management program. So pursuing a master's in supply chain management, one, supply chain management is definitely going to stay in demand for a long time. There are very specialized master's programs that you can pursue in this particular field. And if you're specializing in this particular field, then you will be at the helm of affairs in terms of the advancements which are happening in this particular industry. What do you need for this particular what do you need for a strong application to a supply chain master's program? Would be your GRE or your GMAT scores according to the program requirements, and then, of course, your academics. So, the careers that you can expect after a supply chain management master's could be anywhere from supply chain managers to operations managers to consultants in the supply chain management field. Then comes the masters in management. So, what are the masters in management programs like? These are very specialized programs which will prepare you for an early stage career in the management side, that is the consulting or the general management programs. Now, if you have limited work experience, this is a good option to go for to build a global career. Once you have pursued the masters in management program, you can look at these career paths and then pivot towards an MBA at a later stage. And of course, if you're looking at a top tier international MBA, then an MIM is also another way to get that global exposure, which will really prepare you for that contribution in the class that a top MBA program is also looking for. So your GMAT or your GRE scores will be important along with your academics, and definitely a strong SOP and a letter of recommendation would be an important input in your masters in management application. What are other options that you can pursue apart from the masters? We also discussed about some MBA programs. Of course, India is one place where you can pursue an MBA with even zero work experience. However, across the world, the MBA programs do require you to have prior work experience before you apply to these top tier programs. So, the option for you, with as someone who has zero work experience, someone who's just graduating from your school, who's just graduating, can be the global deferred MBA programs. So, what are the global deferred MBA programs? There are approximately around 10 to 12 programs which you can apply to. ISB YLP was actually another program which is now discontinued in the deferred MBA programs list as well. So, deferred MBA means that you have applied to a top business school which is offering you the option of getting an admit now but joining the program after getting the requisite work experience. And the range of deferral that these schools offer is anywhere from 2 years to 5 years depending on the program. The deferred MBA programs, so finally, what will happen after the deferred MBA admit is that you will work for 2 to 5 years according to your career plans and then go and join the MBA class in that particular school itself. It is not a separate program that you will be going in for, it will be the MBA program that the school offers, and you will have a seat in the program, a guaranteed spot in the program in 2 years or 3 years in advance. So this is what the Global Deferred MBA is all about. And the schools which are offering these programs, we are just coming to that. However, the admissions process is pretty competitive. So if you're planning to apply to a Global Deferred MBA program, at that it is important for you to focus on your GMAT or GRE scores and also have a strong profile along with a strong academic score. Which are the schools which offer the deferred MBA programs? The Harvard 2 plus 2 is one program. Stanford has a deferred enrollment option. Wharton offers a deferred MBA program. MIT Sloan offers a deferred MBA program. Yale Silver Scholars is another program. Columbia Business School offers a deferred MBA program. Berkeley Haas has a deferred MBA program. You have the UVA Darden Future Years Scholars. And the deadlines for most of these programs are due in April. So if you're done with your GMAT or your GRE, let's say by January end, at that point in time, you'll be very well placed to decide as to what programs you qualify for and where do you want to apply, and put up a strong application as well. Two more programs in the list are the Emery Gazetta Early Admission Program and the Kellogg Future Leaders. So these are the programs. I've mentioned the deadlines also over here. So you can refer to this particular presentation for the research, for the basic research, and then build on your plans. In case you need any assistance with the application process or any discussion in terms of your career goals or career plans, feel free to get in touch with us. We'll be happy to assist you with respect to your profile evaluation as well as the application process for the MBA as well as the master's programs. So all the best, guys. As soon as you're done with the CAT exam, you'll have your tentative scores very uh, you'll have you'll know your tentative scores very soon. Post that, start planning for the next steps, start planning for the global options in case you are planning for a global career as well. So the timeline for you is November 24th is the CAT exam. Write the exam and let's say take a break of 2 3 days and start with your GMAT or GRE prep. Take a mock test for GMAT as well as GRE. Decide whether it is GMAT for you or GRE, which one is the one where you can really score well. That is the test for you. Spend another month and a half preparing for the GMAT or GRE. Take a lot of mock tests and write a lot of practice tests. Keep on building on that preparation that you have done for the CAT exam, and then write the test by, let's say, January mid or January end, so that you are ready for your applications for the deferred MBA or the master's programs February onwards up till April. There are two deferred MBA programs which have two rounds of application, which is the Emery Gazetta as well as the UVA Darton. So you can also plan for their August or their June deadlines. The rest of them will have their deadlines in April. So if you're so don't rest too much after your CAT exam. Try and plan forward and get in touch with us in case we can help you with anything. All the best.